What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is The Flash, Season 3, Episode 11, Dead or Alive. So, I really enjoyed this episode. It's a lot of fun, and ultimately, that's also kind of the problem I have with it. I know it sounds weird to say, oh yeah, I liked it, but I also didn't like it for the same exact reasons. But the truth is, one of the best things about The Flash, compared to most of the other CW shows, Supergirl doesn't take itself very seriously at times, and Legends of Tomorrow practically knows it's just a time travel show is not something that is easy to take seriously. It's all about time travel. You have to suspend your disbelief quite a bit. So both of those shows don't really take themselves that seriously. Arrow takes itself too seriously. This show has got a good mix to it. There are times where it's just joking and fun, and it's about a guy who can run really fast. They play it very lightly, but then there are also some serious moments that I think the show does a very good job of setting it up, making the emotional payoff very good. And so I like how they managed to handle all of that. This one feels like it should have more emotional stuff than it does the, I guess, the silly side of it, and that's the biggest problem. I think this one played it too silly in an episode where it probably should have been a bit more down to earth, a bit more serious about it. And especially because we're coming up on a moment where Iris might die. We've seen the future, she dies in the future. That's coming up fairly soon. It feels like they should be treating all of this with a bit more seriousness. It shouldn't be a lot of jokes. It shouldn't be half of the episode is just fun, fun, fun. And yet that's what this episode was. Even the fight at the end where Cisco has to fight, what's her name, Gypsy. That whole fight felt like I know it's gonna happen. I know it's just gonna be a big, huge joke, pretty much. Like she's gonna be beating him up. She's gonna try to do her final move, and Cisco's gonna knock her down. And even though this is a fight to the death, I know there's not gonna be any death. I know he's going to beat her, she's going to accept defeat, and then they're just going to keep HR and everything will be hunky-dory. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened, because that's how they treated it. If this was treated as more of a serious matter, like, okay, Cisco might die, HR might get taken away and executed because of what he did, then I would feel like, yes, I'm invested in this fight, but I wasn't. They didn't treat it with enough respect, I guess is the best word. I don't know. This show normally doesn't make a mistake like this. Most of the time, if I'm supposed to take something lightly, if there's supposed to be like less emotion invested in it, they play jokes on it. It's just like whatever, haha. Let's get a laugh out of it. But then if there's ever a moment where death is on the table and it's seriously involving death, they always treat it very seriously, and it's always an intense moment. And I'm like, this, I need to take this serious. I can't be laughing right now. But this is an episode where it should feel like an intense episode, and it doesn't. Every other word out of Cisco's mouth is a joke. So I just don't understand why we got so mixed up on the emotions in this episode, but that's, in my opinion, that's the biggest flaw I can find with it. The rest of it works pretty well. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. Cisco's jokes are hysterical. Watching as HR is like trying to find his place in the team, even that's got some good moments with it. It's not as emotional as I think it should be, or it's not as serious as I think it should be, but it's still a good character building for HR because we find out a bit more about him. We find out that the reason he came here was because he was famous on Earth 19, but he wanted to be a real person because there he's just pretending to be somebody. So he wanted to come here and actually learn to be somebody. So, that all works out. We have some interesting moments with Julian now that he's a part of the team. He actually is contributing pretty well to the team. He comes up with the ultimate move the ultimate logic that ends up being Cisco's way to defeat Gypsy. He figures out her special move. So I like the fact that he is contributing to the team. He's not just there to be kind of made fun of at times. He's also there for his knowledge of metahumans and all of that. So I like the fact that they're incorporating him pretty well. But yeah, all of it was well done. It was just because the emotions didn't really connect, it made it hard for me to watch this episode with any real investment in it. I just felt like it was all should have been more emotional. It should have been more Okay, we're serious now. HR could die, Cisco could die, and nobody dies. I feel like it would have been much more intense in my ending of it. It would have been much more fitting of what this episode is if at the end of it, Cisco beats her, but then she's like, "This is a fight to the death. You can't stop there." And she's like, "No, I can't kill you." And then she's coming at him, trying to kill him, and at some point, it's got to be either him or her. That would be a more fitting ending to this episode compared to how it's set up. But to just have it be, oh, he beats her, she says, "You have to kill me." He says, "No, I'm not going to do it." "Oh, okay." And I'm going to go back to that Earth and tell him that I killed HR. It all just works out way too well, in my opinion. But all in all, that story is interesting. We've pretty much wrapped up the story and all. On the other hand, we have other stories going on that I think they're treated with the right, I guess, emotions involved, so I don't have problems with it. The Iris stuff going on, her her dying in the future, how she's handling it, the fact that she wants to take down these gun dealers, it all fits with her. It fits with her character. She wants to do something. If these are her last moments, she wants to do something to, I guess, make sure it was meaningful. She wants to do something to help people. It makes sense. She's just not going about it the right way, and pretty much everybody but her knows that. And so I like the reactions from everybody. I mean, even Wally in this one, he knows she's not acting correctly. He knows that her decisions right now are not thinking straight. And I just love the fact that we've gone from, Wally used to be in these moments where he's the one jumping into danger and he just wants to go help. He wants to help people with his powers. And now that he's actually learned how to control them and now that he's actually helping with the team, he sees that her doing that is a mistake because he made those same mistakes as well. And I wish they actually talked about that, because the fact that he doesn't say anything about that makes me think that he doesn't think his past actions were a mistake. I don't know. But I like the chemistry that they have as brother and sister, and obviously Joe has his "I'm going to be a father for a second" moment, and it always feels very genuine whenever it's coming from Joe. I think he does a very good job of portraying that father figure that wants to be strict, wants to make sure they are staying out of danger, but at the same time knows he can't control them. He's not allowed to just take over their life. They're old enough to make their own choices, and probably are going to, even if he says not to. So the guy that plays Joe does a really good job of portraying both sides of that. And then we find out at the end of this, Barry realizes he's not getting fast enough, and Julian brought it to his attention as well. He's not increasing his speed enough to be fast enough to save Iris by the time Savitar kills her. And so we see, he tells Wally at the end of it that his growth has been so vast in the little bit of time that he has had his speed, that he's going to be the one to save Iris. And so I find that interesting just because we didn't see Wally anywhere in the future timeline. So you gotta wonder why. You gotta wonder why he's not there and why he wouldn't have been there in the first place. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see just what all is going to happen. Are they actually changing the timeline, or are things just playing out exactly how they should be? Just the little minuscule changes here and there are the only changes that are really happening. Nothing's going to stop Savitar from coming back, taking Iris and killing her. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was a really good episode, just aside from the fact that the tone of it didn't really fit very well. The rest of it was really good. I'm still loving this show. It's really a lot of fun to watch. If you can just watch it and then get invested in the characters, everything that goes on with them, you just really feel like you're connecting to them because the characters are so relatable for the most part. I mean, even Cisco, he's got these vibe powers, even he just feels like he's the most down-to-earth character on the show because they just treat him like that. They treat him like he's just a guy who happened to get powers, and that's how he acts. So I love all the characters in the show. They do a really good job with it, and hopefully they can keep putting out good episodes. Hopefully they'll not do as many like this one where it's a little bit too much fun and goofing off when death is on the table. But we'll see where it goes from here. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? What do you think is going to happen? What are predictions? All that stuff. Let me know. We can talk about and discuss. Leave a like and subscribe for future Flash reviews, and I'll see you at the next one.